YouTube, it's Brian Phillips coming to you with something new and exciting. Into the AM. We've been wearing these as undershirts and they've been working out very good. I don't think I hit anything
Where did that go?
Went all the way over the entryway. So you guys have already seen this, more than likely. We're not sure if we're splitting up the videos or not. We may be going back to the good old ways of splitting our videos. But, oh my goodness, that is beautiful. Woo, looky, looky, looky. It is the F-16 Falcon, 80 millimeter. Cool. This is so cool because we have reviewed some other 80 millimeter EDF jets from Horizon Hobby, or E-flite in this case, and they are good. So without further ado, we are gonna open this thing up, we're gonna unbox it, and we are gonna build it, and then we're gonna radio set it up. And it's gonna be awesome. It's got smart technology in it, whatever that means. This is an experience level 3, oh no. Uh-oh. I think I'm in trouble. Well. I hope that means it flies really good and it's awesome. But who knows? We'll find out shortly. Okay, so a couple things. Ordnance included. Take a look at the gear doors. Look, look, look how beautiful that is. You can't even see them. That is awesome. I'm so excited to see this thing fly. Look, it flies right side up or upside down. All right, this thing is 57.1 inches or 1,450 millimeters long. It's 39.4 or 1,000 millimeters. What? This is the 80 millimeter EDF and 1,000 millimeters, so that would be a 1 meter plane. Wow. Holy cow. That is awesome. 6S compatible 100 amp AV and ESC. Is this a time when we do the disclaimer about saying things wrong?
Yes, we say numbers wrong.
I always love that when you're signing a legal document and they're like, oh, that's just the document where if we have a typo. I'm like, you mean you can change the document if you made a mistake? Wow, it was really into the packaging. Look at this. They were trying to make some packaging there. That's pretty exciting stuff.
Is that how that happens?
Yeah, I guess. So here we go. Oh yeah, so much better than the last Horizon plane that I had to rip the box up. Oh man, this is so cool. It comes with 4 different squadrons worth of decals, okay? So part of the rationale behind that is what I'm told now is that they wanted to give you guys the ability to do your own livery if you have something you're trying to match up with. So far, so good. The packaging, even that spot where the EDF kind of pushed back, okay? Looks like we have no damage at all, which is good. No paint scuffs. Let's go ahead and cut off the decal sets. I want to be kind of careful to keep that all intact. I like generic gray, plain. I love it that way. That is my favorite way. Sometimes the visibility is not as good as something like a Blue Angels or the like. You're gonna have a little better contrast because they're designed to be seen, whereas in all practical reality, military aircraft are designed to not be seen. So they don't want to exactly make themselves a target since they're attempting to target the competition. So as you can see, very cool. So far the packaging is just pretty standard stuff for Horizon. Good high quality foam, no chance of crushing or damage, generally speaking. They even use foam to protect the foam. However, I noticed there's no foam to protect the foam from the foam on this foam right here.
Oh, but there's foam on the inside of the foam to protect.
Oh, there is foam on the inside?
Yeah.
Oh man, that looks so good.
Oh,
look at this.
wow.
Wow, that's beautiful. Where's all the little release bumps?
I know.
Oh, there's 1 set, there's 2 sets. Oh, whoa, that looks awesome. There must be LEDs or something? I don't know, I'm trying to figure that out. Awesome, 1, 2, 3 ordnance hookups. The ordnance does come with this. Obviously on the F-16, the primary flight control surfaces are gonna be flapperons, spoilerons, and well, actually leading edge slats, and then televators. So I'm not sure how this is gonna be set up. We're gonna find out in a few minutes. Ooh, beautiful. Look at the ordnance.
Oh, wow.
Detailed. Multiple paint jobs. Oh. That was really cool. Yeah. I'm not a big ordnance guy myself. I don't like the way that it drags the plane down in most cases. So I don't know if that's going to be the case on this plane. Obviously, you've already seen it fly. Or maybe you're just watching the unbox and you're going to watch a flight later. That's always good. Ball links. That's always good. That's beautiful. Man, just loving it.
There's like not even a lot.
Oh, that is an LED.
Yeah.
That is an LED. That's going to shine through. There must be a reflective thing on the end that blocks the light there. Okay. Oh my goodness. 2 carbon fiber spars. That's awesome. Okay, not sure how that's going to work. Looks like the bigger one goes here. Oh, awesome.
Oh,
and then
wow.
the smaller one. Guys, look at that. That is incredible.
That's crazy.
We have come so far in the short time we've been doing this. How long have we been doing this? We're getting kind of old.
6, I know.
6 years.
6 years.
6 years we've been doing this. And every year it gets more exciting and the planes get better. And look, they must be listening.
Oh, they didn't fold
They're
it.
not folded. That is awesome. Look, oh, it's so good. And by the way, E-flite does some of the best manuals.
Yep.
Look, they even have a detailed outlet with air moving and then some sort of a vortex along the line here. That's pretty cool. Okay, for those of you who like looking at manuals, this goes over a lot of the different setup if you're doing plug and fly. This is a bind and fly basic. Shows the basic assembly, installing the wings, these little things, I forget what people call vertical fins, yep. Of course, they got the removable nose. Jeez, look at all the ordnance, that's a ton. Oh, good, missile rails. They're missile rails, not included missiles. That's the way I like it. I don't know, I don't know. I kind of like the missiles. And look, they show you where the decals go.
Good. I was wondering about that.
That is so nice, folks. We're gonna have to think about it. Maybe we won't even put decals on. We can try.
But they always look so cool.
I know they do. There's your 95 millimeters for CG, plus or minus, so it's 90 to 100 millimeters. Of course, your Safe Select and your AS3X. Different choices for binding. There's 4 different choices here. This must have an AR637T, I'm guessing. There's your control horn positions. And then, of course, full flying stabulator control throw measurements. That is awesome. So it is stabilators.
Cool.
That is the way I like it because stabilators are the way they would be on a real plane. So I'm into scale planes, even if the scale planes fly slightly worse than they would if they were designed. Thank you for choosing. You can register your product, I guess. Okay. They'll send you something in the mail or they'll send you, oh, look, there goes FedEx.
I know.
Delivering more planes. Okay, do not paint. Do not paint. You know why you don't paint that? Because in real life, that would be some sort of a sensor, but it is in fake life just an awesome detail.
Oh, like don't paint the little thing?
Yeah, don't paint the thing.
Cool.
Don't paint the tip. You never want to paint the tip because the tip gets stuck into other things.
Whoa.
So, but you'll see this. You'll see this, and you're like, that is really detailed.
Yes, it is.
So when you're flying along and you're picking it out of the yard. Okay, drop tank.
We've
so
never done
detailed,
that.
guys. This is so cool. Capacity, 300 US gallons. Used grade JP4, JP5, JP8 fuel.
That's
That
cool.
is so cool. Guys, they're getting so good with this stuff. Look, there's even a bump there. I don't know. That one's supposed to be there. These are not. That is so, so cool. Okay, guys, continuing along. For those of you who are thinking, just get to the flying. Get to the flying, Brian. Well, we've already probably did it. You can watch that part if you want. We're doing the unboxing for people that love watching unboxing. I don't quite get exactly the unboxings myself because I would want to see it fly. I would want to see it put together. But a lot of times what you're looking at when you're buying something online is you want to know that it's going to come not broke. That's why we do this. There's a lot of people that demand to see this step. And if you don't like this step, hey, we get it. You're not going to hurt our feelings if you want to watch other parts of it. Oh my goodness. That is glorious. Oh, it's tinted. That is so cool. You can see the instrument cluster. Oh my goodness. This has got to be the best canopy Horizon has ever done. Oh my goodness. Look at that.
Wait, hold still.
They have the head-up display. That is so cool. That is so, so, so cool. Oh man, that looks so good. Oh, love it. So you guys may or may not know this, but we're in central Iowa here. We used to have a squadron of F-16, so I grew up on the south side of Des Moines. And I used to watch the F-16s fly constantly. Unfortunately, there was some sort of a maneuver made military-wise that they moved them to a different place. And oh man, that is so beautiful. Look at this. We have lift here stickers on the missiles, guys. The most detailed missiles I've ever seen from Horizon. Now, granted, I have not seen every plane Horizon's made, but I have seen plenty. Look at that. That is so cool. That is so cool. The ordnance goes on like nothing. That is so awesome. These are going to be on there. The rails are going to be on. I mean, they don't fly around planes with missiles on them. If you guys, if you're around a military base, they don't typically have ordnance on them when they're flying around domestically. Sometimes they'll have a Sidewinder on there or something like that, but it's pretty uncommon. They don't want them to accidentally shoot them into a neighborhood. That'll ruin your day every time it happens. All right, here we go. Man, there's a lot of ordnance. These things are really light, by the way, camera crew.
Oh,
Show
yeah.
them.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
They are.
Pretty nails.
Nice.
Okay, so, oh, look where the ESC is. Show them. That's so cool.
Oh, wow.
That's the ESC. That's so cool.
Huh.
It's accessible almost. I don't know if you could get that out from there. Man, this is beautiful. So many details. Look at this, all the stickers.
All the little stickers, yeah.
Fast acting speed brakes. So if you're riding on an F-16, okay, so if you crawl out of the F-16 and you walk back here in flight, those are fast acting,
Yes.
so be careful.
Be careful.
Although you could also be walking under it and have it be like, whoosh,
Yeah, that would
right into
probably
your
be bad,
face
too.
/ head area. Okay, also take note of the fact that there's no damage. Ow, I just got shocked. Ugh, could you hear that?
I did. Is
It
that
hurt.
What it was?
Goodness gracious.
I heard it.
Don't forget to discharge yourself before you pick up your plane. Wow, those retracts are going to be so good. No tail hook. That's no fun.
Of all the things.
Look at that. Lights. Those are the good LEDs. Show them up close. Look. It's the good kind. Wow. Wow, that is so beautiful. I'm just loving this so much, guys. You know, the longer I do this, the review thing, the radio-controlled aviation thing, the more I have an appreciation for some of these details. Like, look at this, guys. The box is designed to hold right here, okay? Look at this. See, do you see how that fits? That's why when you buy a Horizon plane, it comes in one piece, okay?
Right.
Now, admittedly, there's not a lot of damage that we've seen on other manufacturers that have much, much, much inferior design. Oh, yeah,
But
baby.
we have.
No, we've had a
seen
couple.
damage on.
We've had planes
Yeah.
that we never brought
Yeah.
because we said, okay, they got damaged, ship another one, and then they ship another one, and it's also damaged. And then I say, no thanks.
Yeah.
So it does happen. Vertical stabilizer looks very simple because there's no stickers on it yet.
Oh, right.
Vertical fins are removable. That was a super wise decision. By the way, if you've ever had an F-16, which I have had an F-16, I've had a number of them. These fins, the vertical fins, are one of the hardest things when it comes to putting this in a car. If you retract your landing gear and you've got them pulled up into the belly, these things are a pain to deal with, okay? So I'm just gonna show you how much of a pain it is on this plane. I gotta get the right one. Nope, I got the wrong one. Yeah, they definitely go this way. Is that right? Or does it go this way? I guess now that I sit and think
We'll have to
about it,
look
let's
at
show
that.
the people on the picture. Is there a picture?
Hold on. My feet are being attacked.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was doing it right. This is the Kitty update. For size comparison, compared to the Kitty, yes, the Kitties are getting bigger.
They're a good gray color.
There's more over there. Oh no, they moved.
They all moved.
Nope, wait, go show them over there.
Oh.
Oh, they're so dang cute.
That's
It's
their
ridiculous.
That's their new spot. It's usually really sunny right there in the morning, so they like to hang out there in the morning.
The cuteness of kitties is infectious. It's like bad. It's bad.
It is.
See how easy that is, folks? There's enough resistance that they don't just pop right off, but it's super easy to install them. Oh yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. And accessibility here to the retract housing. There's also a place for a drop tank here. And then this comes out. So when you need to get to your EDF, you don't have to unglue the fins.
Right.
You can take these off. You can get to your EDF. You can install your afterburner from Guniac. Did I just say that? If you want to. if you're listening. Stabilators. Wow. Look pretty simple, which is what you want. Ball links. Okay, so we've got those things. We're getting quite the pile of F-16 out here. Man, there's like so much ordnance on this thing. The ordnance were stacked on top of each other, so now I'm trying to get them out. Oh yeah, that is beautiful. This one was assembled. Okay, so that's the missile that goes onto the wing.
I can't believe how detailed they are.
I know, it's just amazing. Look at this.
For like an optional accessory.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so we got that on. Slip it back. Awesome. I'm loving the way that looks. Not to mention, like, this is almost like a hybrid build video because it's going so smooth.
You can't not
I mean,
put
there's
things
just
together.
No, not these things. They're just too pretty. Look how awesome that looks. That is so cool. By the way, it sucks to match gray, okay? Because there's only going to be like 3 different grays on this plane.
Yeah.
So some people have been telling me for years, just take this to your Home Depot or Menards or Lowe's or whatever it is you'd like to use, and you can have them match that paint, and they'll make a latex-based paint for you, which is really nice for touch-up. Because if you go down to your hobby shop and you say, hey, I just need a gray for my F-14 or my F-15 or my F-16 or my F-18 or my whatever it is, then they'll be like, oh, here, go to the gray section. It's aisle 3 and 4 and 5. Oh, there's the nut sack and bolt sack.
Oh, I was just wondering. Ooh, that's it? I love small nut sacks.
I know, she does. Jeez. Thank you. So basically, the smaller the better. Those are so sweet looking. We may have to do ordnance on this plane just because they look so good.
At least to start with.
Look at this.
That's
no
like,
hold aft of line.
You know, I'm really glad that Horizon did that so I didn't have to cut those little things out for you.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Okay, so I think that's everything. I'm just looking through all the nooks and valleys here, and I do not see anything else.
What else could there be?
Oh, show them the smart ESC in there. Can you see through the cracks?
Hold still, maybe. You can kind of see the orange logo.
And then, by the way, look at the cheater holes. Cheater holes on the side, cheater holes on the nose. Oh, yeah, that is an opened inlet. That is so cool.
I can see light through the other
That
one.
is never, ever, ever part of a plane. By the way, this exhaust tube, it is installed on mine. Okay, I'm assuming it's going to be installed on yours, but they did have that outlined on the instructions. I think what happens is sometimes when they're making their design of what's going to get done at the factory and what's going to get done by the end user, sometimes those steps change depending on what the labor requirements are, I'm assuming, for the factory to build stuff. Okay, I'm going to set that down. We'll get a plane stand. Okay, guys, we're going to pick up and come right back. All right, YouTube, so we're gonna go ahead and build this F-16, the 80mm. And if you wanna come around here, we're gonna talk about the S1200 for a minute. As you guys know, we have been using the S2200 Smart Charger, Gen 2 Smart Charger, and it's been very good. We've been very, very happy with it. It's super nice, but some people just don't have the budget for the 2-channel style. This is going to be the single channel style. So we're going to show you that real quick, and then we'll show you the provided or the recommended battery. And we don't usually open these things on their own because it's not really like a whole video. I mean, we've done a couple of Gen 1 and Gen 2 smart videos, but with just one charger, we just want to kind of incorporate it in this plane. If it's first jet you're getting, maybe it's the first 6S platform that you're flying, which if you don't have the Draco, you might want to just get that right now. But that being said, if you need to charge bigger batteries, that is, when you go from 4 up to 6, a lot of times people are needing to get a bigger charger. This would maybe be a great place to start. I still think you're better off to get the 2200 because it's just going to get you more bang for your buck. That being said, we charge a lot of batteries at the same time. So this is how it comes out of the package. Really nice. It's got good instructions. Not that you need a lot. Okay. This will do up to 6S. It's got both styles of plugs, which is really nice. So it's got the IC3 and the IC5. Okay, this is the way it comes packaged. We don't often share this because it's just, you know, Horizon does a really nice job. Long rubber pads so they don't slip when you're plugging in connectors. That's really nice. This is the upgrade cable. They have a regular USB cable for this, which is nice because a lot of people complain about the headphone jack adapter. I agree. I think it probably should have been included, but that's just me. USB for charging things like phones. Okay, this is upgrade. This is USB for charging. And then a power cord plug and a power switch. Power switch is invaluable to me because I like leaving my cords attached. And then the protective screen cover. This is a big deal here. So you can switch between your IC3 and your IC5, okay? Now keep in mind, if you're flying the new UMX A10, you still need an adapter for the little 2S packs, and that's unfortunate, but it's the reality we face right now. If you're having trouble getting them, you shouldn't be by the time this video publishes. They should be coming out here pretty quick if you haven't already got one, and that would be an IC2 to IC3, and then the of course, since it's a smart battery, you don't need the balance lead, okay? That's the other thing too, is make sure that you're updating your firmware occasionally on these things, because as your batteries need to be updated, then they will be updated via the charger, okay? So, comes with a cord like this. I always take and stretch to straighten the cords, which just takes a lot of that memory out because I hate looking at ugly cords. And then of course you can plug it into your wall. This is, again, not rocket science stuff. If you guys are in this hobby, I'm pretty sure you know how to plug in a cord. So now that it's plugged in, we turn on the power, let that thing fire up. Get these boxes out of here while it's going through the splash screen. And you'll see the new version of display, which is a Gen 2 style. Basically on Gen 2 displays, you can update your Gen 1s and they will look just like this. Okay, so now we're gonna open a brand new Virgin G2 5000 milliamp 30C6S, which is 22.2 volts. Okay. Give me just a little bit here. They come well packaged. They always have a piece of foam in here to protect the battery in transit. They're always wrapped in bubble wrap. And they're always flat as flat gets, okay, which is good. Then there is always protection against the connector, okay, for what it's worth. This speaks to the fact that you need to use a Gen 2 charger. I already know that, and here's why. There is no balance lead. The balance lead was typically what we use to keep each of the cells balanced, because there's 6 cells in series. That's how we get 6S, 6 in series, not 6 cells. That'd be 6C, of course. This is 6 in series. And that is because some packs used to be in parallel. So that's why it's not 6C, it's 6S. So in case there was any confusion, I used to be confused when I first got into this too. I thought that was the stupidest thing. It should be 6C. No, because C talks about how fast you can charge or discharge these packs. So this is 30C discharge rate. And then just to confuse things even worse, the C rating with which you use to charge the pack speaks to the number of times this you're allowed to go. Okay, so like if you're charging at 3C, that would be 1500 milliamp hours. Okay, so that would be 1.5 amps. Excuse me, 15 amps. Sorry. Okay, so the nice thing about a smart battery is that you don't need to be a mathematician. You flip to the correct port that it plugs into, and like, okay, so let's just do this wrong. Okay, so now, oh, look at that. It goes in, smart charger is going to initiate charging sequence, okay? That's how hard it is, okay? So as you can see, it's charging. It gives you a display that indicates how much time is left. It's gonna also indicate how many milliamp hours have been forced into the pack at a rate of 1C, or 5 amps, also known as 5,000 milliamps, milli meaning 1,000th, okay? It's also going to calculate the time remaining, but of course you have to have a sampling of time to know how long it's taken to get what it's got done, and then it will populate, which it just did, 42 minutes at 1C. So if you were to go to 2C, that should make that about 20 minutes. At 3C, or 15 amps, that would make this, you know, 10, 12 minutes, something like that. A lot of guys charge faster when they're at the field. Okay, trade me spots here, camera crew. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to go into the menu. So I'm going to press and hold the play button. That's right there. There's an up and a down. I feel like those should be reversed in my opinion. There's a back button. Okay, so I'm going to stop the charge. I'm going to press and hold to go into the menu, and then I'm going to go down and set this thing up. Smart battery settings, I'm going to go into that. Auto storage is set to 72 hours. That's probably a good place to start for most people. I'm going to throw caution to the wind and set it to 240 hours. That means in 10 days, or 24 hours times 10 would be 240 hours, okay? I'm going to set it to 240 hours. That means that at the end of 240 hours, this will either be starting the discharge or finishing the discharge sequence. I believe it starts the discharge. I'm not 100% clear on that. Somebody answer in the comments below. That being said, Gen 2 packs have a more robust discharge and charge for balancing. There's a circuit, there's a little chip. It's about this big and about this wide, and it's very thin. And all the balance leads go to it. And then the main discharge leads come out of that board as well. And so what happens is, when you're flying at any sort of, especially EDF jets, they draw so much juice so fast that a lot of times you'll have one pack that's maybe a little bit easier to come out, one cell, and than the others. And so what will happen is you have one cell sag, and it's almost always the top or the bottom because of them being in series, okay? So what happens is the balancing is always being done by that chip. So even while you're discharging it, it's balancing the cells, which is super, super nice. That's part of the reason that you can consume so much power out of these packs before they get to, you know, a situation where you feel like you're going from a 6S to a 5S. Because anybody who's flown with a otherwise dumb pack and has had that experience, it's very bad because you go from, you know, 4.2 down to 3 to, you know, to 2.8, and then all of a sudden it drops off like this, like a rock, because that's the way the discharge sequence works in a LiPo. Okay, lithium polymer is like, you know, you operate on this top like 80, the top like 20 to 25% of the range, and then it drops like a rock. Same thing with a lithium ion pack, except you have a little bit bigger range, maybe like a 40% range. Okay, so in an airplane, if you're doing a LiPo, then you're gonna want those things to be balanced so that you don't lose the bigger nominal voltage. So anyway, we set it to 240 hours, and that's really the only setting you want. Some people have also asked me, storage voltage is 3.9 volts. 3.9 volts is 3.8 volts on a Gen 1 pack. Okay, I don't know why they do that. I think it's probably because the discharger is a little bit more efficient, and maybe Horizon is concerned that they'll maybe overshoot the discharge sequence a little bit, and this protects them from getting to a point where they have then over discharged and you can't get them to charge. Okay, I don't know if that's the case. There's some tricks up our sleeve to get some voltage in this. If you'd have one cell that drops out of range, that would then preclude this thing from starting it. Okay, I don't know how the software works on that, but there's some ways. Okay, just rest assured, it's not been a problem. Now that being said, I'm gonna walk back out and I'm gonna go back up to start. And then I'm just going to press the play and it's gonna start. Now, you can also, at any point, you can interrupt this charge sequence by unplugging. Okay, it just disconnect it and you're good. Now, it would probably be better to stop it, but I just want you to see that all the checks and balances that were not in previous chargers have been integrated into these smart chargers so that the layman or the new pilot is gonna have no problems. Okay, now let's look at 4S real quick. This, I'm not gonna go through all the same details. Oh, there's your chip. That's what the chip looks like, okay? There's your main outputs, and then these are where those cells go. Okay, and I believe they use the same or similar chips between different size packs. So this is a 4S 5000. Okay, so we're just going to pull this out. Really well packaged. The smaller packs that are in similar size boxes have more foam for protection. I mean, honestly, I bought expensive battery as I bought cheap batteries. They pretty much all come packed well, and that's partly because lithium polymers do have some inherent. It's probably one of the more dangerous things in our hobby. You're not going to cut your hand off in an EDF, but if you have a prop, you're going to get cut potentially. That's one of the things. The other big thing is batteries. So you got to be careful with your batteries. Battery safety is important, okay? We're going to interrupt this one because it's only a, oh, this has an IC5. Oh, I didn't expect that on a 4S. That's surprising.
That's a Gen 1 battery.
This is a Gen 1 battery. So Gen 1 batteries still have the leads. If you want to save a few bucks, I have found that the Gen 1 packs are really good. I have no problems with Gen 1 packs. That being said, the Gen 2 packs are one less step, which is really nice if you charge a lot of batteries at the same time. I was hoping to show you something with an IC3 connector. So we'll do that real quick. So we'll just grab a Gen 2. Well, let's grab a Gen 1 because we haven't shown a Gen 1. So Gen 1 4S 3200. So this has an IC3. So just to show you, again, if you want to stop this, you can press and hold. And then the first thing highlighted is stop. So then it stops the charging. It goes to 0.0 amps and you can unplug. Then you just slip this down. Now, two things to keep in mind with a smart battery. You can either plug in the balance lead or you can ignore the balance lead. If you want to start it, it's going to ask you first, and then you can press play, press and hold it, and you can go to start, and then you can continue without balancing, okay? Now, you're thinking to yourself, but Brian, how are you going to continue without balancing? You don't have a balance lead in there. That's right, but this thing balances itself, okay? So I always plug in the balance lead and let the charger do it, and that's just the way I do it. You don't have to do that. And then some of these balance leads on the Gen 1 packs are very short. They're like 1 inch long. So it makes it quite challenging to align them. And make no mistake, if you want battery safety, the best thing you can do is be very nice to your leads and be very nice to the packs in your airplanes. So that if you get in an accident or you crash your plane, the battery is somewhat protected, okay? Those are the two things you can do. Thirdly, charge them at a slower rate as you can tolerate. And then fourthly, discharge them as soon as you can, and you'll get more life out of them because the chemistry in the packs stays kosher for longer, okay? This one's obviously done. All right, so enough about chargers. We're gonna go ahead and plug this one back in. It's gonna start back up. That's gonna get us back to where we need to be so that that is the battery that we're gonna be using on this plane. That or one like it because we have quite a few of them. To remind the people, Gen 2 5030C, very cool. And then I mentioned it earlier about the Draco, but the Draco will fly on 6S and 4S. So without further ado, if you haven't seen the Draco stuff, you should watch it. It's a great plane, and it's one of the best bind and flies out there. So this F-16 looks awesome, and I am so excited to see it fly. The S1200, definitely something worth considering. S2200, in my opinion, is still the better value. You're getting more bang for your buck. So without further ado, we will come right back with the build. All right, so we're back on the F-16, the 80mm F-16 Falcon by E-flite, and we're getting ready to do the assembly part. So in looking at the assembly, I want to talk about this before I forget to mention it. The left and right missile pods, even if you take the missiles off, E-flite is recommending that you leave the pods on. And that's because there's hard plastic here, and then there's foam here, so you need to pay attention to that. So this foam part goes up, and what's gonna happen is like with any other tricycle jet, it's gonna wanna tip down, okay? If you turn too sharp. This is just what happens, okay? So the plastic goes down, the foam goes up. So you can install them backward, okay? So you have to just pay attention and do it. This build is gonna be super easy, so I'm really excited to do it. We already built like half of it when we were off just unboxing it. So what's first, camera crew?
Well, the directions have the exhaust tube, which ours was already installed, the exhaust nozzle. So then the horizontal stabilator is next. So
now, just to be clear too, these are the ventral fins, not the vertical fins. I always say that wrong. They're ventral fins. So, not sure exactly how they get that word, but I know it's legit because I've heard it before. The other thing too is there is an afterburner LED ring that you can get. I don't know when it's going to be available, but there is supposedly some grumblings about it in the manual. And you can take this off, install it, and there's a servo plug that's back here for use with that device, and it's just going to mount here. Okay, so just look at your instruction manual. Not sure if we're going to link to that yet. It depends on if it's available or not. When we get one, we'll go ahead and do a second thoughts video with it. Okay, so I'm trying to plug in this servo cable, And I'm having a little bit of trouble getting this to seat down, so I'm gonna go at a bit of an angle. Oh, feels like it, yeah. Okay, yeah. There it goes. Okay, it's going. It's just a little bit tricky. Okay, so that's in, no problems. Be careful not to crush your foam any more than you have to get it in there. And then we need 2 of the longer screws, right?
Yeah, the 26 millimeter.
By the way, another question that I got, does this have a ball joint on the vertical stabilators? Yes, it has a ball. It has a ball, okay? So that's important because some people had experienced some issues on the F-18 with the stabilators. So hopefully that resolves that issue.
Okay.
Yeah. We didn't ever have that problem, so I can't speak to it. But then again, I know that some of you did, so we're not trying to hide what other people had, but this should be resolved by that, okay? So inside the nut and bolt sack, we've got those 2 adapters. Those are gonna go for the stabilators. Okay. And then we have the rest of the screws. And there's actually no nuts in this sack.
Aww.
I know.
So the 2 longest ones.
2 longest ones. Yep. Okay, so there's 1 and 2. And then the rest are going to be used for different
put the rest on the...
Yeah, we'll just lay it on here if that's all right.
Yep.
Okay, so then those just feed through. It's very obvious because there is a countersunk hole here, and then it's just flat on the other side. So again, not like rocket science. Hey, a side note, I was just going to mention this. If you guys do a lot of scale airplanes, this is definitely not a beginner plane, first of all, but cut your nails. Keep your fingernails short when you're doing this because it's very easy to gouge the foam.
See, that's why you do all the builds and not me.
Show them your nails.
My nails are not short.
Vicious.
They're not even very vicious right now. But they are not short, and I have dinged planes before.
She has.
It's just the foam is
it's soft in areas.
If you're like pushing on it to put stuff together.
Especially the areas that aren't really designed to be load bearing. Horizon and some of the other good manufacturers have started to really reinforce the areas that matter. And you don't want too much reinforcement because it's a lot heavier, but you do want reinforcement like on the wingtips. I'm thinking of the 3-meter FMS Fox, which it is a heavier plane, but it's huge too. And you know, that leading edge is a really vulnerable area. And if I recall, the vertical, I don't know if the vertical stabilizer, but the horizontal stabilizer and both wings had a leading edge that was plastic. So just thinking of the fact that they're doing that now on planes is amazing. Like this antenna, that's so cool. There's so many details. There's so many details on this plane that are just over the top. And you know, when we got the Draco here a few weeks ago for us, you guys just saw the video about a week ago. We just thought, how is Horizon going to you know, how are they going to one up this thing? And we're still, honestly, at this point, we're still trying to kind of figure out exactly how that's going to happen. And then this F-16 shows up. And I'm like, that's pretty awesome. Now, is this better than the Draco? I would probably argue not better than the Draco, but is it awesome? Oh, yeah.
Well, it's totally different.
Totally different. And see, that's the other thing, too, is a lot of people have asked us questions. And, you know, we hear this all the time in the comments, you know, hey, compare this plane to that plane. Some planes just don't compare well because they're in different size classes, or there's a big price disparity. And let's just be honest, guys, if a plane is $400 and a plane is $600, the $600 plane is probably going to be better, okay? It doesn't matter. And the same is true between, you know, competitive brands and the E-flite. The E-flite one is going to generally be better because it's more expensive. That's not always the case, but it's usually the case. Okay, what's next?
Well, we were supposed to do the horizontal.
Hold on, I want to do the nose. That's going to be hard. Do you want to do that?
Oh, here.
Here, you can install the nose cone.
Wait, what's just the up and down?
Goodness gracious, maybe I should have done it.
Hold on, I'm trying to do it with one hand.
The wrong way.
Wait, hold on, I didn't even
man,
show.
I don't know what to do with myself now. That's hilarious. I totally thought you'd get it right. Sorry.
Well, I'm trying to film at the same time.
That looks so much better with the nose on. It's funny.
Sometimes it's okay. They missed my mistake because I wasn't even looking at myself.
Oh, good. That is so pretty.
That is really cool.
I gotta say, guys, and I was just gonna mention this. Horizon, you do a really good job on artwork on the boxes, typically. There was something about this, the lines on this plane. at this angle that we thought was like, really? It seems like it's not very flattering. It almost makes it look potbelly or something. And looking at this plane now, that is not true at all. It's not even remotely true. And the same was true on the P-51 1.5. We thought, man, I hate the paint on that thing. And then we got one in person and we were like,
it was
whoa,
really cool.
It's actually a lot better than we thought. And the same is true on this. It looks shiny on this, okay? This, now I'm not saying that there isn't a condition where the sun is gonna hit this, but remember, you can make a wooden deck look shiny in the right sunlight, okay? This thing is not overly shiny. I mean, it's not completely flat, but that's because they're gonna give you a better grade paint that way.
Yeah.
So this, would you say this is like eggshell? Or like semi-gloss?
Like satin. I mean, it's not shiny at all.
And that's the thing is some people are gonna see that and they're gonna think, ew, I'm not doing that.
Well, it looks blue, I think, on the box.
She thinks it looks blue. I think it looks gray still. But it just depends on the backdrop and stuff. And these planes, especially the warbirds like this, they're, you know, you got to get them right. Are we supposed to do this next?
You were supposed to do that first, but like usual, you didn't follow directions.
Yeah, I didn't follow directions. That looks so good.
Awesome. Because it is going to need to be inverted to put the screws in.
Oh, no. Is that why they said use extreme caution inverting your plane?
Probably a reason.
Look at that. That looks so cool. Okay, here we go.
Have you ever turned a plane over and not made that noise?
I have that one time. Okay. That's close to CG. I should probably try to do this differently. You know, that canopy, I do not want to put my plane's weight on it. Yeah, maybe that's why they have instructions, huh?
Someone read them to you.
She may have read them off camera, but I'm not going to admit to it if she did. All right, we have a 2mm nut driver here, or not nut driver, hex drive. Okay, these have been really nice. So thank you, Tom, for those. He sent them after years of painstaking frustration watching us do things the wrong way. Now, this is where we put one of these in, right?
Yes.
Is it the short ones?
I believe it's the shortest ones. Because there should be 4 of the mid-size ones for the weights.
Right. That's true. So now what's going to happen is this is going to go down, and then it's just going to lock in and preclude this from sliding out. Like it's already kind of feels like it wouldn't come out anyway.
You have to make sure it engages that.
The slot.
Yeah.
I'm going to show the people if I don't throw my... What did you just do, Brian? You dropped it on the ground and dinged it up, dang it. Oh, that was super annoying. This has got a bearing on it, okay? Okay, so what's going to happen is this is going to go through the plastic and it's going to bite that spot, okay? There is not a flat spot. It just goes down and bites, right? So don't drop that thing, by the way, guys. That's super annoying. I just dinged up the side of mine. Plastic, plastic, all plastic, including the servo bracket. Okay, so that's good. Those are really hard to tighten in. Oh my goodness.
It said it should go like flush with the countersink hole though.
So you just want to stick it all the way in is what you're saying?
Yes.
Me too. Okay, so it's flush. I don't know if that's flush. I'm just waiting for a loud crack.
I know,
Okay, it's definitely not coming out.
No.
Now, the other thing is, I'm not really excited about putting that control rod on yet. You know why? Because as soon as I do it, then the servo is going to be in the wrong position or some stupid thing like that.
Well, we usually wait, so.
Look at this. Look.
Who did that?
Don't drop your stabilator. Oh, that's so annoying. You know, if I really cared, I could dip that in some hot water and take that little bit of bump out of it.
It's going to bubble it.
It is going to bubble it, you're right. I'm just going to have to learn from that mistake and never, ever do it again.
Yeah.
Just like all those other things that I'm never, ever, ever going to do again.
How's that working for you?
Well, how's it working for you?
Not very good.
Not very good, huh? Okay. I agree with you. You guys see how hard I'm death gripping this thing? You see? Good thing we had Tom buy this wonderful tool for us, or I'd be in big trouble. Oh yeah, that's tight. Look at Toyga. Okay, those things aren't coming out.
No.
Now, if you hit a tree at 100 miles an hour, they probably will come out. Okay, so the holes are supposed to be on the next to last hole. There's four holes. I don't know if all four on the control horn are exposed. Yes, they are. So you're supposed to go on the next to last hole out, and just kind of loosely doing this. I'm just going to kind of stick that on there. Yeah, it looks like you're going to want to probably rotate them from the inside portion. Did they say that at all?
They did. Do you want me to go check?
Yeah, because I want to make sure I do that right.
They did say go from one side to the other, and I don't remember.
No, they're showing it going from the outside. They're showing it going from this side. Otherwise, it's too hard to get into the hole. See? Mm-hmm. So, ooh, this is going to be awkward. Oh, no, were we supposed to do that first? No, we weren't. Okay, see how I did that? That worked out pretty good. That wasn't too bad. Now, I am not going to snap this in yet. I'm just going to loosely lay it like this, okay? And then we are going to remember to do that before we fly it. Okay. Second hole from the bottom, or from the top, rather. Okay, second hole from the top. Slide it in. Oh, boy. Okay, then twist and shout, and there we go. Give that a half a turn. Okay, now these are obviously not going to want to stay on there until you snap them, but I don't know. Okay, I have an idea for that. In the interim, are we going to tape them on there, camera crew? Should we just tape them?
Really?
They're not painted, they're hard plastic.
Well, that's true.
Right? They're all plastic?
What's wrong with just leaving them floppy?
Because I don't want these to flop and then run into things.
Okay.
I mean,
well, it is annoying when they run into things because they're floppy.
You know what? That's true. I'm sure it is. Okay, right there.
Okay, fine.
There we go.
Okay.
See, then you don't want to fly like that. I don't think. That does look so good. Oh my goodness.
Wait, hold on.
Looks so good. Really excited to see this in the air. The F-16 has such a soft spot for it. Okay. I did that different last time, didn't I? Yep, I did. Yep, can't do that. There we go.
There you go.
It's good. Okay. So, man, that thing looks good. I don't know yet if I'm gonna put stickers on it.
Really?
I just don't know. I don't know. Did you show them the squadron stickers?
No, because we opened them up while we were putting them.
Okay, so here's the squadron stickers. Okay, there's a bunch of different choices. South Carolina, Toledo. This one evidently, I thought this was Carolina too, South Carolina.
This one's the Wild Weasel.
There's
and
one.
Then, yeah, it has a South Carolina on it for.
Yeah, this one's got like the tiger on it. So, I don't know. I'm just not sure what I want to do. There's 4 squadrons though. Mm-hmm. And my big thing is I kind of like something that's going to keep the true, real looking plane. And these are all real flying squadrons. So, but the F-16s that I saw when I was growing up, they were all bare like this, essentially.
Yeah.
They might have had one stripe at the top, but I don't remember what they had. So we'll have to do a little research on that.
We're getting really old. I don't remember.
Yeah, we are getting old. We don't remember much anymore.
No.
Okay, so the wings in the Unbox, we slid in the different rod sizes. The bigger carbon fiber rod, which wing joiner, it's totally stiff. It's not going to bend. And then the longer one, these ones are really thin, like they're hollow. This one does give a little bit. Okay, so that just goes into the second hole. I'm just being careful that I don't stab the plane. Nobody wants to stab the plane. Okay, so we're in the first hole, and we're in the second hole simultaneously. Gee.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go.
And then don't forget you have to engage your little.
Yep, servo plug. Oh man, that was so easy. I didn't even have to push hard. Oh, that's awesome. Man, that looks so good. And do you see the anhedral on the wings? the tail feathers go down, which is so cool. It's the way they would in real life, of course. Okay, so in like this, and then. So yeah, if you guys are thinking about transporting this plane to your flying field and you're concerned about size and things like this, 1,000 millimeters, this is a pretty manageable size. I definitely want to screw this, man, that looks so good. I want to screw those in. I want to screw those in right now before I forget.
That would probably be a good idea. Because
I'm afraid I'm going to forget, because I'm going to get all excited about it, and then I'm just going to like be like, oh, let's flip it over and have the wing shoot out. Oh, by the way, Tom, thank you. You double whammy today. He sent us this plane stand a long time ago. We've used it numerous times, like virtually every build we've done. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah. From Mr. I don't need a plane stand. I'll just use a blanket.
I'll just use a blanket. It's okay. I don't mind if there's holes in the blankets. You know what we did that with?
But the person who owns the blanket might care.
Do you know what we did that with?
Yeah, the P-51, the Blondie.
The F-51?
No, P-51.
P.F. Chang's 51.
Whatever we need there.
Hey, that P-51 Blondie was awesome.
It was.
You know that plane still lives into infamy?
It does.
Just
not here, right?
Just not here. We sent it to be with another beautiful home.
We sent it out to the farm where it could run around with the other P-51s.
The other P-51s? No, it would have been here if it was with the other P-51s.
Yeah.
I think we have 3 downstairs.
That one is not
P-51s.
going.
Okay, camera crew, I need you to hold here. I'm going to push against that.
Wait, hold here?
Yes, hold there. Whoops, my ordnance came off. Hate it when that happens. Okay, so I just had to push a little bit from the back of the tail. Come on.
There goes.
Hey! This is much easier than some other competitive brands that rhyme with Scrinum. I think we'd still be opening the box right now.
Well, I mean, we can usually open the box.
I mean, to their defense, it's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But yet, still.
This one's cheaper.
Every plane is kind of in its, different echelons. And this plane is just in a different echelon.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with those other planes. It's just that they're not as right. Does that make sense?
That's true.
I mean, if you spend more on a automobile, and you're going to get a better automobile, and same is true in a automobile airplane.
Automobile? Who says automobile?
Automobile.
How old are you?
I told you just minutes ago that I'm getting old. Okay. I need to take a break. I'm sore. Hey, camera crew, push up against that nose for me. Like there, and then, hey, show the people what I'm doing. I'm pushing from here in, and then I'm going to twist and push this in. Okay, so camera crew, you actually have to stop it from moving, though.
Okay.
Okay, keep resisting. Resist!
I've been trying.
There it is. It's in. You can let go now. Then, as you tighten them, it goes right in. Boy, I think we spent way longer on the chargers than we did on this.
I think so.
By the way, that's just how easy they come off, which is pretty nice. So I'll show you what it looks like with just the... That is so cool, guys. It looks so cool. Just with the rails. I think it looks really awesome. Let's show them with the plane up. It just looks clean, but I'm gonna have missiles on there because I want this thing to be able to defend itself.
Yes.
You never know when there could be an attack from like an
Definitely.
Su-30. Well, we know. Or P-51.
We need to set that charger so it doesn't beep.
Oh, that's right, guys. Did you notice how it's incessantly, annoyingly beeping you? Sounds like some sort of a gold rush, and Tony Beats is in the room with us. So we're going to press and hold this. Then we're going to go to task, battery, current, charge, smart battery settings, system settings, backlight high, volume high, completion tone repeat, click and move it to single. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
There we go.
Much better.
So much better.
Why was it beeping?
Because
It's
it was
not even
done.
done.
It is done. It's just sometimes on the smart, hold on, let me go to start. On the smart batteries, you'll notice that it will go to like 99%, and then you'll charge that last top percent, and then you'll have to start it again sometimes after it sits there beeping incessantly, annoying you for a long time. Yep. Okay, so the next step in this is to pick this up and show how really, really intensely beautiful it is. Oh yes, that is so pretty. Does it look good? It looks good from back here, but I'm not able to see it very good myself. Oh man, that is so cool. I can't wait to see this thing in the air. It's gonna look so gorgeous. I'm super excited. The lines on it are great. I did notice I have a bit of a gap here, which is disappointing on the canopy.
Is the canopy latched?
Oh, yeah, it is.
It is, okay.
It's latched. This was sliding. I'm actually put a little bit of Dawn dish detergent on the shaft of that, and that'll help that slide in and out.
Oh.
But yeah, this thing looks really good.
Yes.
So I am so excited. Okay, so next up, we're gonna look at the radio setup, so stay tuned. All right, YouTube, so we're gonna set up the Radio NX8 Spectrum with the 80mm F-16 Falcon EDF jet. So just in scanning through the documentation on this, Horizon always does a really nice job. This is one thing we need to check for. This is 20mm down on the leading edge of the stabilators. The leading edge is all the way at the tip there. Camera crew, down a little bit. There you go. That's where you want 20mm marked. Okay, so I'm sort of torn on this. Do I mark the plane or do I just get it right? And to be honest, I'm not sure what's better, okay? Because when you get to flying this, if you change your elevator trim, then the starting position will be different. So I think what we want to do is we're just going to go ahead and try to get it right as best we can. And so for that, we have some calipers. Thanks, Danny, for this, for giving us these. That was really nice of you. So they're going to wake up and they'll go to 20mm. So I'm going to probably use this stick thing, and that will allow us to bring it right out to 20mm. So if we go to 20mm, it's right about, that's close enough. Okay, so then you can take that and you can measure down from the top. So I'll just show you that right quick, and maybe it's easier to just mark the thing for the sake of the video. Okay, so we're at 19.95. I'm gonna tighten this little lock down just a little bit so it goes slower. I can try to get it right there. Okay, so we're right there. That's as close as you're probably gonna get. And this stick will reach down and tell us exactly where 20mm is, and then I'm gonna mark right on this spot here. Okay, so I have just that little subtle mark there, right at 20mm.
Yeah.
And then I can just line it up to that point. Okay, this is gonna be, and I'm just kind of trying to, you know, this is the tip, I'm just putting that tip right in the center. Okay, so now while we're at it with the calipers, we're gonna set this to 90 to 100mm, so it's 95 plus or minus 5. Okay, so we're gonna go straight to 90. So there's 90.01mm, and that's back from the leading edge. This is gonna be for CG testing, so typically on the jet, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it upside down when I test it, just because the tail might make it wanna swing. Well, let's see, is it gonna, I'm not sure which way this is gonna go. If I'm gonna test it this way, it's always challenging with jets because they're so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it that way, because if I do it this way, I feel like I have every disadvantage still. You may have to have the landing gear open, so
and ordnance.
And
if you have ordnance on.
Oh, that's gonna make it really hard. Okay, so I wanna mark the bottom. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just making a decision. We'll mark the bottom.
Okay.
It's not like it's necessarily right or wrong. It's just, you kind of got to figure out how it's going to work for you. Right. Now, this is from the leading edge of the wing. And you're like, Brian, I thought this was a radio setup. Yeah, it kind of all comes at the same time, so you kind of have to just do it all. It is from the leading edge of this wing, not this. By the way, this is all plastic. That's really smart. Okay, so we're gonna go right to the leading edge. Oh, come on, Horizon. You couldn't have made that plastic thing exactly the same. That might be close enough for what we're doing, because then, oh, that's way too big.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know, 100. It's supposed to be to 100. Okay, so if that's one spot, and this is the other spot, you can see what I'm talking about, folks. There's one mark, and there's two marks, one mark and two marks. And you're probably screaming at the screen saying, I can't believe you have defaced your beautiful plane in such a way. And then I'll just say to you guys, this is just, it's a preference thing, you know. You don't even have to mark the plane. You can actually just put the batteries in and get it worked out. And then you can not mark it. But like for us, that's so insanely impractical because we have so many different planes.
Well, we used to spend so much time marking CG differently.
Yep.
And you've never brought up a plane, and I've looked at it and thought, oh, and a CG
it's
marks
like,
on
oh
it.
man, look at those CG marks.
Like,
yeah.
Literally never
It just
thought
hasn't been a factor for us.
It's not.
So we've been, but thanks, Danny. We appreciate that.
That does help.
They're helpful. I actually bought the same ones for myself, but I'm just too lazy to get them in the basement. So these sit up in our upstairs cabinet. So I'm sure that was reassuring to you. Okay, so we've got the marks made, but we still need to land those once we get this thing fired up, okay? So while we've got it upside down, I think that's everything we need to do. I just want to point this out. This gear door here is going to open, and you want to accommodate for that on your plane stand. So I believe this nose gear comes down like that, and then these come out like this, okay? If I remember right. It's been a while since I've seen the F-16 open its gear. Gear is supposed to be awesome on this plane. So I'm actually very excited for that.
Watch your fin things.
Yep, I'm gonna have to have it right there and then there. How about that?
I think
Does that
that
look safe?
Be good.
I'm just gonna pull this. Yep, I think we're safe there. Okay, so we should be okay. I'm just gonna pull this forward just a little bit. You always gotta think about that with your plane stand if you're using a plane stand, which by the way, the plane stands, you get these at Horizon. You get them at your local hobby shop. They're, you know, not a high dollar item. If you have more than one plane, it's probably time to get it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna get more planes. It's gonna be worth your time. Okay. So the first thing when you get a brand new radio set up, you're gonna set up an acro. So the camera crew is gonna come around. So the first thing you're gonna do is when I say click, you're gonna click this and you're gonna scroll with this knob, okay? So click, scroll down.
Wait, we have glare.
Oh, we'll pause and figure that out.
Well, here, it's okay. Okay. Nope, I'm good.
So you're gonna click and go down to system setup, disconnect RF, you'll notice that the light shuts off. Then we're gonna go model select, you're gonna go all the way down to the bottom, you're gonna do it, add a new model. And then you're gonna go to create, it's making an acro. This is where you would change it to like a heli or whatever you're trying to do. They also have bind and fly templates in there. I'm just gonna create it, okay? So create new model, takes a second. Now you can go in and verify the model type. If you change that, it's going to clear all your settings. Okay, so don't do that. Then you go to model name, and this is where you're going to typically type something like F-16 Falcon. So I'm going to start click and then move over to F and then click to highlight and then F-16. So I'll find the dash and so on and so forth. So we're going to do that and we'll come right back when that's typed in because it's pretty tedious to watch. Okay, so we have the F-16 Falcon 80mm EDF. Okay, so we'll go back and we'll go to aircraft type. This is where I usually come into the manual and obviously we have the CG figured out. This is the binding instructions, but you have to have your radio set up first. So you'll see this receiver installation for the ARF Plus. The ARF Plus is gonna be really competitive with some of the competitive brands that are out there that rhyme with Streetwing, yes, that brand. Mm-hmm. So when considering this up against the Streetwing, rhymes with, then you'll find that the ARF Plus is more competitive. But anyway, just getting back to the point, there's a lot of different brands of planes out there, and sometimes the more expensive ones are better, and then sometimes, you know, the not quite so expensive ones are just as good. It just depends. So you may want to just, you know, check those things out. So anyway, computerized transmitter setup. This is a part that I usually look at as a guide. There's also this little spot here in the manual. I'm just gonna show you. It's usually right at the beginning. Oh man, I'm having trouble finding it today. This part. I find this to be more for people that go strictly by measurements. So usually, and that's a 3.5 minute flight time, by the way. And then there's your center of gravity. This is gonna tell you the setup information if you're doing a plug-in fly or like an ARF plus, okay? I would recommend the AR637T if you're doing this but to be honest, you could do a 630, you know, it wouldn't make that big of a difference. An AR630 would probably work just fine. But the 637T is gonna give you more telemetry. And since you've got the Avian ESC in the bind and fly, if you're trying to replicate the bind and fly, get the AR637T, okay? It's more expensive than the AR630. But it does give you some additional features. I would like to, if I was doing the bind and fly, or if I'm doing the bind and fly, then it's gonna be a lot easier to set up. If you do the plug-in fly, or the plug-in, or the ARF plus, which comes with everything but the EDF and the ESC, right?
And the receiver.
Yeah, but it does come with the retracts, which is a big deal because retracts are really expensive in these things. So yeah, it does come with the receiver or the battery, obviously. This is bind and fly basic, and we say bind and fly synonymous with bind and fly basic. We mean bind and fly basic mostly. There's not many planes that are bind and fly, true bind and flies anymore, because they kind of stopped doing that a long time ago. Now it's pretty much always bind and fly basic, unless otherwise specified, like we've got a special battery pack, or we've got a special charger included, or it's ready to fly where it comes with everything you need, up to and including the transmitter batteries, which is nice. Okay, hopefully you guys got all that. If you're new to flying, this is probably not the plane for you anyway. So getting back to the point, this is where you're gonna look. What's the wing type? Wing type is 1 aileron. Okay, that's pretty simple. So one thing I would like to say at this moment in time is that on a plane of this echelon, I would personally like to see flaperons programmed into this plane. I think it's the way it should be. Now, whether or not they actually help it fly is another story. So that being said, if you do the AR637T, you can for sure do that. And it's actually really easy to set up. So we just did Crow on Fox 2.3 meter, which is an FMS product, and we just reviewed that here. Actually, we reviewed it after the Draco, but the Draco footage hit in the opposite order. So if you guys haven't seen that, it might be helpful to run through that. Did we use the AR630 on that one, or did we use the 637T? We did not have a barometer.
We used the 630.
Yeah, we just used the AR630.
Yeah.
So the AR630 will allow you to do that through forward programming, which is really nice. But there's less telemetry data, so you don't get the Vario. Vario, of course, is using a barometer. So that'll go boop, 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 boop. That's pretty much how it works. All right, so the first thing is set your wing type. That's all correct. Next, scroll down, click that. That's a jet, but I don't think that's the best jet. Is that the best jet for this? Ooh, that's like a Haboo. No, I want an F-16. Well, that's not an F-16. So I guess this is as good as it gets for now. And then we can go back out to the main mode. We're gonna go to dual rates and expo. We're just gonna set that up right now so I don't forget. I always seem to forget that. I don't forget, but I always do it at the wrong order. So switch F. Setting 1 is gonna be like 5%. Then we'll do 10, then we'll do 20. And then we'll drop the rates down to like 90. Okay, I'm gonna replicate that for all 3 of the control axes. So instead of just ailerons, it's gonna be elevator. Whoops. On and switch F. And if you guys aren't privy to what I'm doing, I'm highlighting. And then you can see as I switch the input, it changes which one's being impacted, okay? Excuse me, we'll do 5, 10, and then we'll do 20, and then we'll drop the rates. Okay? Whoops. And then rudder. So you just click on this switch, and then you actuate the switch you want it to become. Okay, and then we'll drop the rates down to 90. Okay, so that's all good. Then we'll do throttle cut. Throttle cut is inhibited, so I'm going to switch the switch I want it to be, which is switch H. You can see the throttle and monitor down here. Nothing's happening, that's good. When I unlatch it from the throttle cut, it works. So we got that set. The timer is going to be probably somewhat irrelevant on this. We're going to set it to 3.5 as a fail-safe in this case with the 1 out active. That means when you move the throttle stick over 25%, when you move it over 25%, it's going to start. And it's going to count down from 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't want a warning at 1. I want nothing at 1. At 20, I want nothing. At 10, I want a countdown verbally. So it's going to be voice. And then at expiration, I want tone and vibrate. Every minute, yeah, that's good enough. All right, so that's all set. So now basically throttle cut's on, or throttle hold is on, timer's clear. If you press back twice, it brings up the volume, which is really annoying. I do that about 50 times every time I do this. I fly from this mode. That's going to give me the medium amount of expo and full rates. This is going to give me more expo, which means it's going to soften the sticks. It's going to make it less sensitive. And then this is going to be more sensitive. So I can go from what I want to start at to more sensitive if I need it, or less sensitive if it's too sensitive. Okay. Throttle cut's on. We're not using this knob right now. We're not doing anything with this yet, but that's going to be gear. And then safe select will probably be over here because I like to use, when I have retracts, I always use this for retracts. I use this for flaps. We don't have flaps configured on this plane, but we'll see how that works. At some point, we might switch that around. Maybe we'll put an AR637T instead of a 637TA in here. TAs, if I understand correct, are locked out, so you can't change the settings. Okay, so we're at that point again where we need to bind the radio system to the plane. So we're going to pull off the canopy. There's a latch back here. My latch is pretty sticky. I am not crazy about the way it feels a little bit sticky. I think it just needs to be worked a few times and it'll be fine. So you guys see this? It's an AR637TA. It looks just like an AR637T, but this one has the A, which means that there is, I think there is no barometer in there maybe. I'm trying to remember. I'm kind of forgetting it. I feel bad about that, guys. I don't mean to mislead here. But either way, we'll just pretend I'm wrong and just assume there's no barometer in there. And obviously you can see that there is a safety warning that speaks to don't chop your fingers off.
Just pretty easy to avoid doing.
We're just gonna go ahead and just be real careful and just, oh, dang it, tripped and it cut right off. I don't know how that happened. Strange. So now that that's gone and out of the way, there's all sorts of plugs in here. I don't really understand. This one says lights. That must be for the ring light.
Or the wink of light.
This one does something. Looks like a sequencer for the gear doors probably, right here. Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna get ready to bind. Okay, so binding process is gonna go a little bit like this. I'm gonna turn off my transmitter, okay? So press and hold the button. It shuts off, throttle stick's down, throttle cut's on. Everything is where I want it to be. Now I just need to grab a battery. So we're gonna grab the battery that we were charging earlier, which is 5000 6S 30C, okay? Smart pack, so there's no balance lead. So this does come with Velcro here. So if you needed to apply this to your battery, you could do that at this point. Big, huge, gigantic battery tray, that's always really nice. Big, heavy duty straps, which is nice also. 3 of them, I doubt we'll ever even touch that one, but who knows, maybe we will. I'm just gonna strap it in just to show you they're nice. One thing you gotta be careful about is you can break these trays, and I've done it a number of times. So don't overdo it too much. Okay, so we just need the battery held so that it's secure. We know that our plane is mostly level. It's not maybe perfect, but it's pretty close to being level. I have my transmitter set in a position where I can get to this bind button and then press this with my thumb, okay? So that'll wake it up when I'm ready for it. And I'm gonna press and hold on this little Spectrum logo. You hear that? So I can plug this in on a Virgin install. It's no big deal. I don't even need to hold it. But let's show the people at home real quick what it looks like on the page. So this is the page that'll tell you the different modes. So I want Safe Select enabled, and I want to use the button. So we're going to use this box here. And you'll notice that this one's using the bind plug, and then this one's just using the switch. Okay, so we're going to use this. This is a really nice marker.
I know, that's a great Sharpie.
Goodness gracious.
There's like 20,000 Sharpies.
Okay, so the first things first, throttle's down, plug in the battery, then press the button. Okay? And then we're going to continue to hold the button.
Yep, press and hold.
All right, so you ready?
Yep.
But you don't have to press it until you're plugged in.
Right.
Okay, so plugging in the very first time. Oh, lights look awesome. Okay, now I'm going to press this button. Then I'm going to press my bind button and then the power button. It's waking up, binding. Telemetry. Now I can let go and I can let go. It's going through an auto configure process which sets up the telemetry data. So now when I go over here, it's going to have all sorts of stuff. Oh my goodness, avian programming? That is so cool. Wow, that's got a lot of stuff going on. It's got all the cell counts. That is awesome. Okay, so let's go to monitor mode real quick. So now what I want to do is I want to make my Safe Select assignment. D switch is assigned to auxiliary 1, which is fine with me. So we are going to now show you the page right here. This is what you're going to be doing now, Safe Select binding. Now, why do we care? Because if we're bound with safe, two things are indicated. At startup, everything dances twice. That's twice. If it's AS3X only, it'll be and that's it, okay? So that's how you can tell. These lights are really bright, by the way.
Yeah.
And look at the LEDs on top and bottom.
They're
That's
so cool.
so cool. Okay, all right, so we have throttle hold on. Sticks down and in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Watch the dance, 12. Okay, so now we are assigned on that switch. You'll notice the dance on the first way down and then the way back. The dance meaning not the full at the beginning. This is a different dance. All the control surfaces move a little bit and then they come back. So now, you see the difference? There's a difference in state on the elevator, but the best way to tell if safe is on or safe is off is by looking at looking at ailerons. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this battery in. Oh, this thing looks so good. Watch the ailerons. They're trying to find the fastest route to level. And then the elevator is not the thing that's going to get you to level. The ailerons do. Once you're level, then they'll stop. If it ever does that this way, that means your receiver is either upside down or you did it wrong, okay? So I'm going to leave it upside down for a second. Now I'm going to turn off safe. On, off, okay? Now we're going to lay this back down in a place where we can go ahead and open the retract shortly. So now that we are level, we have Safe Select assigned. I want to go into servo setup, travel, click on it and move over to reverse. Auxiliary 1, I want to reverse. So now that's safe off, safe on. That's just my preference. You don't have to reverse that, but I am. Also, they recommended reversing the gear channel. You notice the gear have not opened. So it says retract channel to reverse, okay? So the retracts are going to be servo setup, travel, reverse, gear. Oh, that's so cool. You see the lights? That's so cool. Okay, so now don't freak out because of that reverse. Gear down. Oh my goodness. That is so sweet, and they lock. We are going to give you guys a better shot of that, by the way. I want to just make sure everything closes. Okay, so now you'll notice that I don't actually want that reversed. I liked it better the other way because I fly with my neutral settings at startup. So this for me is neutral. This means flying. Okay, so I want it to be the other way. So I'm gonna go into servo setup, I'm gonna go to reverse, and I'm gonna switch gear back. Okay, that is so awesome. All right, time to do it so we can see better, because that is really, really, really cool. Oh my goodness.
What?
That is so bright.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the tail light? Awesome. Is it strobing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's really slow.
No, it's just on.
Yeah.
It's really bright though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Holy cow, that is so nice. And they have a lock on there. Those are way, way nice retracts.
Here, let me come over there.
Wow. Here, let's spin the, well, you can't really spin the plane because the tail is just a little bit taller than the plane stand. Do you see how strong those are? And look, they're spring loaded like this. Feel how strong and sturdy that is. That is insane.
They look, oh my gosh.
Like you could crush the plane.
Yeah.
Before this gives out.
These are like all
They're
metal?
all metal.
Wow.
And then look up here. Look how sturdy this is. That is so cool.
That is crazy.
And then of course the lights. Now let's actuate them again. Oh wait, well before we do that, let's do this. Oh, that's so cool. Man, there's like, that is so sturdy. Wow.
Those lights are so cool.
And then the light comes on too, right?
Yep.
See, the light shuts off when it closes, right?
Yep. It shuts off before it closes, actually. Like as soon as you actuate it, it closes.
That is so cool. Good bearings on the wheels. The wheels are hard, but I can live with that. That is just phenomenal. Okay, so now that we've tested every other function, let's close the gear. I don't want you to be distracted. All right, so now that that's closed, we got to get our elevators figured out. Now, what's the first thing we need to check for? If we're in safe or not.
Yes.
We're obviously not in safe. That's safe. That's not safe. Why does that matter? I want my servos centered.
Right.
Now, you could use a servo tester like the XBC battery checker to do that if you don't mind like unwiring everything.
Yeah.
But I'm not really into wasting my time on that. I mean, because we're so time efficient on this channel. But I don't want to get into that. Okay. So once we have the tape pulled off, this is just temporary, of course. We just did that to hold them so they didn't get flopped around and like drop on the ground or something.
Yeah. I don't want to drop them on the ground.
Okay, so you see this? We want this to be at that black dot, okay? So that's where we need it to be, and look how big of a difference there is. I gotta go probably a couple of turns out. There's 1/2, there's 1, there's 1.5. Nope, not there, one more half, there's 1/2. Ooh, that's pretty darn good. Show the people at home, gray dark, gray light points right at the dot. Does that look good?
Yeah, I think that's as good. You're gonna overshoot, I think, if you go.
Okay, I'd rather test it and verify. The thing that's nice about these ball joints is that once you set, if you do it right, they work super well. They work really good, but the problem is if you have to undo them, they're hard. Yes, there are special pliers that do this, and I do not have them. I know some of you guys are cringing watching me do this without the ball pliers, but sorry, better luck next time, I guess. Okay, so they're all the way on there. I think heli guys have them a lot. Yep, okay, that looks pretty good. Now this side, whoa, this side's like perfect. Show the people at home. Do they look good?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not, nah, see when I held it.
Just a tiny bit. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go in half a turn. Oh, that's pretty darn good.
Pretty good.
I don't think it's gonna get better. Now, one other slight disappointment is that currently this plane does not fly with televons, and I still think that that would be super cool to do that. Now, can it be done? Oh yeah, for sure. but is it another step you have to do? Yeah. Now, there's a lot of F-16s out there on the market that fly with tail bonds. To be honest with you, I'm sure Horizon has just figured out what works best. So obviously you have ailerons, we have elevator, we have rudder, and then of course, steerable nose gear, which of course is correct. So throttle cut is on. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and flip this over onto its own landing gear. We are gonna test the CG now too. All right, so this plane stand, it's funny, this plane seems light compared to the Draco.
I bet.
That's because it is. Okay, so always check your CG with the gear down unless otherwise indicated. Why do we do that, camera crew?
Because the gear is going to change the CG a little bit. And
potentially.
It's more important when you're landing.
Yep, I agree. Okay, so right now I'm on the back set of holes and it's still a little bit tail heavy. And when I'm on the front holes, it's quite tail heavy. That might be good actually, because then it will want to come in and flare. But you can see my battery slipped all the way forward, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I didn't even tighten any of the straps.
Right.
So I'm gonna pull this front strap, I'm gonna put it right to the front edge of the tray. This is on the 6S 5000, okay? I'm gonna leave that tail up so it's easy to grab. Okay, pulling it tight. Man, those retracts feel so good. That is awesome. All right. It is going, okay. So now I'm just feeling for my marks on the CG. I'm gonna try to get centered on there. Oh goodness gracious, it's kind of hard to feel. I think I might need to do something about that. It's a little bit hard to tell. Let's do that right now, actually. Let's do that right now, because I'm having a hard time telling where the CG marks are. Is it hitting? Nope.
No, you're good.
We're just barely able to fit past. So I'm just gonna take another marker with a more pronounced tip, and I'm just gonna press a little bit harder. This is a blue marker this time. And again, I'm sure some of you guys are at home cringing, saying, I can't believe you would destroy such a beautiful paint job with a mark. Yes, I know. I agree. It's kind of sad to have to do that. But my CG is more important than how perfect the bottom of the wing at that one spot looks. See, I'm just lining up my finger on the CG. I'm right between. On the back mark, we're good. On the front mark, we're tail heavy. Normally, I would say that's not good enough, but because this is an EDF jet, and when I want to come in and flare because there's no flaps on this, so I do need to be prepared to be able to do that. Man, that just looks so good. Everything looks so solid. That looks so weird when the back wheels just kind of pivot like that. It's so weird. I'm really into how strong they are, but I'm still not 100% sure how that's gonna work in real life. Okay, so there's all the way up, down to 90, okay. Roll left, roll right, that's all correct. And yaw left, yaw right. Okay, so this is an 80mm EDF. So are you ready?
There's a little kitty in the hall. You're gonna scare it.
I can feel the wind blowing from behind me.
Yeah, I'm like not even close to being in line, and it's really windy.
That is so loud and awesome all at the same time. Okay, now it's time. It's time for the test. The test of the ages. Man, that retract system is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's time to try. I want to see if it will hover. I don't think it will. I don't think we have quite enough power for that, but we're pretty close, so we're going to try it. That's pretty darn close. I would almost call that hovering, but I'm not willing to crash it. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, a couple things too about the retracts. That is a long sequence.
Yes,
so
it is.
You need to be prepared and have your retracts down with plenty of time to spare. That thing is so cool. I'm super excited to see this thing fly. If you guys haven't already got one, definitely do us a favor. Okay, so we say this a million times. We'll say it a million times more, unfortunately for you if you're listening. Horizon makes some good stuff. So do a lot of the other companies we work with make good stuff too. But this thing looks really awesome. I am super excited to see it in the air. If you want to help support the channel, definitely give us a like. If you're watching these big, long, detailed videos, it doesn't come without sacrifice from the camera crew, obviously. I mean, I'm into this stuff, so, you know, like, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. But that being said, this plane is great. The other big way you can help us is obviously like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications if you want to know about new footage coming out. And then buy from the links in the description below. It seems like such a non-issue for you because you're not basically paying anything more, but you'll be helping to support our channel, and we appreciate you doing that. If you aren't already doing that, we really appreciate it. If you go to Horizon Hobby and you're wanting to buy something, you want to get some glue with this plane or whatever, or you want to buy, you know, a replacement part or whatever it is, check the link in the description. It'll take you to the purchase page for this plane, and then you can click on the more parts and things like this, and we'll get credit for the things that you buy. It just helps to support us financially, and it helps us to grow our channel more. It also helps my wife to allow us to have this huge of a time investment in our life, because it really is a big time investment. You not realize it, but if you see a 4-hour video, it's not 4 hours of work. It's like 10 hours of work. So, and then it's 10 hours of work, and then it's replying to all the comments, which is the other thing too. If you like the videos and you comment, we try to reply to all of them. We don't always get to it as fast as we'd like, especially when things are busy. And obviously we have to wait and try to hit good weather windows. And like today, I don't know if you guys can tell, but all the wind is crazy. It's not really a good time to fly a beautiful brand new plane, although I'm sure this plane would fly in the wind. It's just not going to show as cool. So we want to give you guys the best experience, and then something you can take and compare A to B to C to D, and then use your RC budget wisely, because nobody has unlimited resources. And even if you did, you wouldn't want to buy planes that aren't as good as what you actually could get for the same budget. So that being said, we really appreciate you. We have the best audience on YouTube, and we wouldn't have the channel if you guys didn't come back and watch. So we really appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Come back for more.